I hate nice guys. Why? Because I was one for a very long time. Hear me out. There's a difference between being a nice guy and being an actual nice guy. The fake nice guys are likely the ones that claim to be a nice guy. Who are they? They are the ones that treat their crush and love interest like a princess, putting them up on a pedestal. And this is the crucial part. He thinks to himself that, hey, eventually, if I show her enough affection and do all these nice things for her, one day she'll realize what a nice person I am and she would fall in love with me. There's a sense of entitlement that their kindness should be rewarded with the woman's affection. They're being nice for a reward, and they end up complaining when said woman dates someone else. All these girls go for the bad guys, but they wouldn't want to come to a nice guy like me. Why are they so stupid? It's a very insecure mindset that stems from a lack of understanding of what it takes to actually attract a woman, and more crucially, a lack of respect for the individuality of the woman. As if the woman can't think for herself and she has to fall in love with you because you did all these nice things for her. They think they are selfless, when in reality, they are highly selfish. The difference between this nice guy and the actual nice guy is that for the actual nice guy, they have no ulterior motive. There's no agenda for being nice. He's doing these nice things because he's genuinely kind and caring. What are some telling signs of a nice guy? He probably goes out of his way to do a lot of things for you, things that would normally be really inconvenient for him. And it's nice to receive effort like that, but you always feel like he's there to win your approval or affection through these actions. He says that he's a nice guy but no one wants him, blaming women for liking bad boys as an excuse, instead of taking accountability for himself. He feels resentful that his niceness is not reciprocated or noticed, and possibly he's also the one that says all these hurtful and demeaning things when he's eventually rejected. Simply put, the nice guy thinks that getting a girlfriend would solve all of his underlying life problems, and that he would be happy now until forevermore. At one point, he's probably fantasized about having a future with this woman already, a future that's ideal and beautiful and has absolutely no conflicts at all, a future not rooted in reality. He has to get this woman to materialize that future. It seems harsh to say it, but he sees the woman as his property, paid by the currency that is his generosity. It seems hard to empathize with these people considering the insidious nature of their motives. But nice guy syndrome might actually stem from something that's tragic. These men are highly likely to be lacking in confidence, and that insecurity comes from perhaps not being one of the more attractive jocks when growing up. You see all these schoolmates around you in your teenage formative years getting into relationships, but for people like me that never peaked in high school, we didn't get those opportunities to get into a relationship. Simply put, some of us just didn't have a lot of riz back then. The greatest looking guys in the school just dating around like it's nothing, while you can't even get a glance from any one of these girls. And at that age, it makes you think lowly of yourself. I'm so ugly, I don't think anyone would want me. But wait, there's a chance. We've been taught that the way to a woman's heart would be a gentleman. If you treat her right, be nice to her, eventually she would fall in love with you. I'm looking at you, Disney movies. Unfortunately, not everyone was taught about what being genuinely nice and generous actually means. And that's how the nice guy tendencies start to come in. On a deeper level, this tendency to over-prioritize someone else's needs and wants over yours could come from a past of having to caretake the emotions of other people in the household. For example, your parents. You had to be the happy and accommodating kids so that your parents don't fight or they don't feel sad. But this is a scenario for another time. In any case, this could go one in two ways. You take accountability of your lack of confidence and do something positive about it. Getting fit, improving your mental health regulation, focusing on self-improvement. But the easier way will be to internalize the idea that you're just ugly and push that blame to an external party, like outsourcing your insecurity to someone else. In this case, the women, were not wanting nice guys and always going for the bad boys. And I will admit that the first way is incredibly hard to do. It's a long and arduous process in finding value within yourself when your self-esteem is that low. How's a 14-year-old guy supposed to do that without any guidance? I was there, and honestly, I still have a lot of nice guy tendencies that are rooted in my very being. It's taken a lot of introspection over many years to undo these unhealthy thoughts, and it's still an active effort to drown them out. I really empathize with guys that find themselves in this spot. Imagine having to grow up in your teenage years as a loser, your formative years when your mind starts to find roots in certain beliefs and thoughts. Beliefs and thoughts that end up becoming your core when you grow into adulthood. No one points you in the healthier direction, and you grew up in an era of comparison through social media. It's so hard to undo because the toxic mindsets have become rooted in your very being. My first and only relationship so far came at 23 years old. It lasted about a year, and I wasn't a good partner because I still had so many issues that stem from those teenage formative years. But let me pitch this proposition to all the nice guys out there. work on yourself, and I guarantee you that once you've found confidence within yourself, you'll be one resilient motherfucker. You feel unstoppable, yet have humility because you knew what it was like being the biggest loser in the room. The person that no one better than I too. People start to notice you, you start to get more attention. But by then, you wouldn't need that external validation because you've already found fulfillment in the betterment of yourself. I've had so many instances in the past where I was placed in the friend zone, many unrequited relationships. By actively choosing that first way ensured that there was always an iteration of self-improvement that always elevated myself to another level. And bit by bit, you start to see less of a need for a partner and it becomes more of just a want. So, how do you do this? The first thing you need to do is to be totally honest with yourself. Question if you like the idea of this person becoming your partner, or if you actually truly like her for being her. Be honest, and if you realize that you are a nice guy, own up to your selfishness and entitlement. Secondly, dive deep into your lack of confidence. How did it come about? Maybe it was a time when your crush made fun of you in school when you confessed to them. Think about that painful memory. Why did that memory hurt you? What feelings did you feel? Write them all down, reflect, and think. Voila! You've just gone through therapy. And lastly, once you know the roots of your trauma, do something about it. Rewire those unhealthy thought patterns. Focus on self-improvement. Get fit. Groom yourself. Take care of your skin. These little things might seem negligible, but put together over a long period of time, you'll feel the difference on a visceral scale, and you'll be so much happier. Trust me, I was that nice guy all the way up until I was 22. I hate nice guys, because I know you can be so much better than that. Choose to be strong, boys. You've got this.